Hi guys, it's Rishmina and welcome back to the Peppy podcast. Welcome. Today we have a special guest who's joining us for our episode on spirituality, Mohanji. Mohanji is a spiritual leader and humanitarian. His mission is to awaken kindness in people's hearts. So welcome to our show, Mohanji, and it's a huge
Thank you.
honor to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
I
you for
appreciate
making
it.
the time.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
It's my pleasure.
so I just wanted to start by asking you how you are, how you're feeling just now.
I'm good. I came from Switzerland yesterday to Slovenia. So
Okay,
we are in Slovenia now.
okay.
Uh, Things are good. Today is Ganesh Chaturthi, so some celebrations are going on in the center. So I came to speak to you.
Thank you so much. So if you're ready, I'm going to start asking you all my questions.
Sure.
Okay, so my first question to you is what does spirituality mean to you?
Spirituality for me is self-connection, connection with yourself. That means all people, all beings, everybody on earth are a combination or a marriage between gross and the subtle. Gross is the physical body, the mind, the intellect, and the ego. That means the body, along with all its senses, and the three processors, which are mind, intellect, ego. Mind processes emotions, intellect processes informations, and ego processes things connected to our personality, such as relations, positions, possessions, all those things. So this is one part, and the other part is the energy which activates all this. So our connection to the energy which is activating all these things is spirituality for me.
Mm,
Because without this energy, we are useless. We call it a dead body.
mm,
With the energy, we are alive. We call it life. So that connection to the energy, which we call life, is spirituality. We all are spiritual actually, all of us, because without the energy inside, we don't have life.
mm,
So being aware of that energy is spirituality. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with any kind of teaching or preaching or books or anything. It's
mm,
simple that we are a product of merger of gross and the subtle. That understanding, that awareness, that's simple.
mm. Okay. And I want to ask you, what was the spiritual turning point in your life?
A spiritual turning point was I was always working from my early 20s in a shipping industry, and I loved the job. I loved the job. Even now, I love the job. But at some point in time, I started realizing that all that money can buy do not give me happiness because
Mm,
they're all connected to the world outside. So I had a tremendous level of dependency with the world outside, with all these objects, with the people, with places, with situations. Those things are quite binding because without them, you don't have life. And you think that they cause your pleasure or pain. But then later, I realized that's not the truth. The pleasure and pain are our choices, it's within us. So I started connecting deeper and deeper into the subtle aspect of myself.
mm,
And it accented in 2000, year 2000, August 23rd, when my daughter passed away in a road accident. That's the time when I asked the question seriously. Before that, I was practicing connecting with myself and asking the question, what am I and what is all this show about, the show called life about? Later, when Ammu died, my daughter died,
mm,
then I asked the question, why am I alive? I am already in my 30s. She
mm,
was only 4.5 years old. Why did she leave? Why not me? I was ready to go. I was happy to go if she was going to be alive. But then I realized that it's not the truth. That's not the way life is. All people are individuals in life. They have their destiny, path of destiny. There is a beginning called birth, and there is an end called death. There is no change possible. So that awareness brought me deeper and deeper into digging into my own consciousness, my own awareness. And then I derived all these, whatever I'm teaching in the world today, all these came forth by itself, naturally,
Mm,
and spontaneously.
mm,
So the turning point, I would say, the real turning point I would say, is the death of my daughter. That was the time when the serious question happened. Why am I alive? What is the purpose? So then I realized that it's not what the things money can buy, the tangible things which we get addicted to. That's not what I'm here for. So then the exploration started, and later I found that pleasure and pain are our choices. Situations do happen, effects do happen, things happen, but how we connect to it and how we make what we experience from it is completely up to us.
mm,
So that's how the whole equation changed. And then I started looking at life differently. But I still continue to work in a shipping office. And I was working until 2012 in shipping industry.
mm,
And all the while, my approach changed, my attitude changed, and my reality changed.
mm. I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. And so, did that begin the process of you trying to understand yourself a lot better?
It became very compelling for me at that point in time, because when somebody dies in the family, especially somebody so young, a lot of people try to sympathize with you. I
Mm,
realized that sympathizing paralyzes you and
mm,
also develops self-pity in you. And I also realized that nobody's going to pick you up when you're down.
mm,
You have to pick up yourself. Many times in life, we fall, and that's not our fault. Life brings that kind of experiences, and there's nobody to blame.
mm,
Situations bring experiences.
mm,
So we have to lift ourselves. We have to move forward,
mm,
and we have to find our purpose, our goal in life. And my goal was to know the truth. What is all this about? What is
mm,
this whole tapestry about? So then I had to literally dig deeper into myself. There is no other way, because nobody else is going to tell you what is all the thing about. Nobody knows.
mm,
Nobody knows anybody's life. Nobody knows anybody. So it's not easy for anybody to rely on, or easy or even relevant for anybody to rely on somebody to know what they are, or what is the cause of all this. You only get generic answers.
mm,
So I moved out of the field of sympathy from people, and I refused to have self-pity.
mm,
This is my personal sorrow. Nobody else can share it. Death of my daughter is a personal sorrow for me. And I was refusing to accept others' sympathy and paralyze myself, because then there is no Mohanji in the world. So I got up and walked, and I started an institution in her name called Ammu Care in 2003. And we are in 23 states of India. Last year, we gave food worth 1.64 crores with Ammu
wow,
Care. And we are in 31 countries in the world, ACT
mm,
Foundation. So in her name, what I started grew and branched out. That was my way of releasing my pain. I always say, pains, you have no choice. It comes to you. Maybe you have physical pain or emotional pain or all pains, but how you handle them makes you.
mm,
That's what I did. So 2003, now it's 21 years. 21 years, we have done so much of work in the world. We have touched so many lives in so many countries,
mm,
and it's growing. It's really, really growing. And all the more than 5,000 or 8,000 volunteers we have,
mm,
100% volunteer based, 100% donation based. We never asked people money. We never asked anybody anything. No forced contribution, no membership fee. So when an organization or an activity become relevant to the world makes it grow, not
mm,
that we make it grow.
mm,
So my expression of my pain was conversion of the pain into a purpose. So
mm.
I created a purpose, and that purpose is touching thousands of lives now.
Giving back to society.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, my next question to you is, Why would you think spiritual awareness is important in people's lives?
The same thing which I said just now,
Mm,
because otherwise we wouldn't know the answers. And when we don't know the answers, usually what happens is that we tend to complain, we tend to blame other people, we tend to do things which are probably going to give us more pain.
mm,
Instead, when you have connection with your own energy, you realize they are all incidents of life. And
mm,
all that life gives in a lifetime are experiences, nothing else. We can call it painful experiences, we can call it good experiences, pleasurable experiences, but they are just experiences. And experiences are connected to time. The same experience do not happen twice. Even though there could be similar experiences, it's not the same,
mm,
because our awareness would have shifted, our thought process would have changed, our approach would have changed, attitude would have changed.
mm,
So each time an experience happens, how we look at it, how we connect to it, and what we derive out of it are different.
mm,
But end of the day, if you look at the whole earning from a lifetime, are experiences which nobody can take away from you.
mm,
And what we save, only saving that we have, are uh, memories or impressions that we've collected from those experiences. And experiences need not be own experiences, need not be personal experiences. It can also be what others have told you, or what we watched in feature films or in the news or social media.
mm.
Everything can be called as experiences because we derive something out of everything.
Yeah.
So that understanding is essential so that you can be stable. It's the birthright of everybody to be stable in the society.
Mm,
Otherwise, emotions swings you up and down. It takes you like a dry leaf in a wind. And also, we tend to believe that other people are responsible for our sorrows, which is not true. Nobody else is responsible for our sorrows. Nobody else is actually responsible for our life.
mm,
We are born, we go through situations, and we have to handle everything, good, bad, and ugly. But at the same time, when you are spiritual, when I say spiritual, the clear understanding that what we are is essentially the energy format.
mm,
The gross, the body, the mind, intellect, and ego is left behind when we die, but the energy continues. So death is not an end to this energy, because energy, as we learn in the school, cannot be destroyed. Energy continues. Energy can be in different forms. It can be converted to different forms, but can't be destroyed. So energy continues, and that we can call soul, or we can call energy, we can call whatever we like. But when we realize that we are the energy
mm,
and not the gross, not the personality which we are nurturing every day,
mm,
then we realize, oh, okay, so all these things are coming and going. The pleasures are coming, pains are coming, happiness is coming and going, sorrows are coming and going. I'm still the same. I'm witnessing them like a feature film. So that your approach changes, and you start becoming more stable. You become very stable. You'll have stability. That's the bottom line. That's why everybody should be spiritual, or at least be aware. Spiritual means not a practice. People confuse between religion and spirituality. People
mm,
think that being spiritual means you have to go to church or mosque or temple or synagogue. That's not true. That's not the point here. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to have this awareness
mm,
that I am what I am, and
mm,
I am the marriage, or I am the product of the marriage between the gross and the subtle. And the subtle is the real. And when subtle leaves, I can call this a dead body, or people will call this a dead body.
mm,
So we understand that all that we gain from life are experiences, good, bad, and ugly. And all that we have savings are memories.
mm,
And that's all we have. And so when things are so simple, we will not blame people. People are all contributors to this experience, thing called experience. Situations are contributing, people are contributing. Everything is contributing for experiences, and they don't stay. Like right now we are talking, we can call this in the present time we are talking. The
mhm,
moment we say we are talking in the present time, present is already past.
mm,
That's simple. So present is also a very volatile, flexible thing.
mm,
Everything is moving. So now what I spoke, the last line I spoke has already become past.
Yeah.
So we are actually like a surf rider on present, you see. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that having a strong spiritual connection and awakening can help people live a more optimum and fulfilled life?
I would say effective life. See,
Effective.
when you have stability, you're effective. When you're unstable, when your mind is in turbulence, when you are emotional, that time you are not effective. And whenever whatever decisions we take
Mm,
during emotional times can lead to regrets or guilt.
mm,
And also, sometimes some people, you tend to, because they are afraid of facing reality, they become escapists. That's even worse because they are suppressing whatever they are completely. So, becoming effective is our birthright so that you have a good life,
mm,
effective life,
mm,
expressive life.
mm,
See, suppression always is postponement. Whenever you suppress some desire, you are asking for another time to express it.
mm,
So, expression or controlled, regulated expression is the best choice. You express everything, whatever you want from life, express it in a regulated way so that you are contented. End of the day, the bottom line for life is contentment.
mm,
If we don't get contentment from life, what are we doing here? Most
mm,
people, they just live a clockwork life, eating, drinking, sleeping, fighting, or chasing something, and then eventually discontented and dying. That's not good life.
mm,
According to me, a good life is a contented life, and
mm,
contentment is connected to effectiveness. Effectiveness is connected to stability, and that's connected to awareness. So,
mm,
awareness leads to stability, stability leads to effectiveness, effectiveness leads to contentment, and that we call a good life. So that you feel, and please remember, there's no do's and don'ts here, there's no good or bad here. The thing which I call bad is violence of all kinds because it hurts others and ourselves.
mm,
And when we become violent, we are hurt more than the other. Other people may forget it, but we are deeply wounded by
mm,
causing violence. So
mm,
I always say stay away from violence in thoughts, expressions,
mm.
actions. And so that you will not have regrets and guilt. Regrets and guilt are very heavy stuff, very heavy.
Yeah.
And they bind you. You feel terrible through because of that. So you can avoid them by being non-violent. Another thing I always say avoid is intoxication. Because if you are fully conscious, you're perfect contentment. If you're unconscious, what do you have? You don't even know you are alive and you don't know what you're doing and you're unconscious. And whatever you do is kind of bizarre activity.
Mm,
So I always recommend no intoxication of any kind
mm.
and no violence of any kind. Apart from that, I don't say anything is bad in
Okay.
life. Everything
Okay.
are experiences. Whatever experience you want or you look for or you're guided to internally, they are good.
Okay. So based on what you said, what if someone is having violent thoughts or has violent tendencies, or somebody even intoxicates in order to cope a little bit better? What would you recommend to these sort of people?
I would recommend actually the violence and these things we should nip from the bud. That means from childhood.
Mm,
I always recommend more counselors than teachers in schools
mm,
so that you understand a child better. See, today, to know the children, who should we ask to? Probably to the social media. Parents do not know children. Parents have disconnected from children. And society, what are they giving to our children? We don't know. And
mm,
what is social media, which is already in our bedrooms, giving to our children, we have no clue. So
mm,
basically, we don't know our children. So who should know them? Teachers can't do know them because they only see them for a few hours and they are
mm,
busy teaching them things.
mm,
I would say just guide them. If you know the nature of the child, what he likes to do, what she likes to do, you can just guide them to it. There is no need for teaching anything unless they want. If they ask when you teach, they
mm,
know they understand very well.
mm,
By imposing a teaching, nobody becomes brilliant or enlightened.
mm,
So we need a lot more counselors. Half of the teaching population should be counselors, and half of the police should be counselors. So we can eradicate violence from the world. We can
mm,
also have less prisons. We can have less cases in the judiciary.
Mm.
and we can have much better world. Because if we know them, we can regulate them. Some people who have tendencies of violent nature should be corrected through
Mm.
acts of compassion.
Yeah.
You know, so because the acts of violence always shrinks you,
Mm.
because the conscience is the immune system of our mind. When conscience is affected, we are shrunk. But when you do acts of kindness, like helping the helpless, poor, hungry, we expand. Our conscience becomes stronger. It's tonic to the conscience.
Mm.
So when you engage them into acts of kindness, they start changing, because that's much more pleasurable.
Mm.
Expansion is always pleasurable. Contraction, guilt, regret, etc. They are like disease, like cancer.
Mm.
It hurts you.
Eats
So
away at your soul.
yeah, it's away your equilibrium completely.
Mm.
That's the point. So we can guide them to positive lifestyle easily,
Mm.
when we regulate the whole thing, but without forcing. I don't believe in convicting anybody. Nobody is a criminal. We make them so for our convenience, so that we can isolate them. But we can isolate people who are extremely violent in different ways, away
Mm.
from the society. There are some people who are violent by birth, and they are like, it's a prehistoric violence, means from past life they brought it.
Mm.
So those people have to be isolated, and but at the same time, society has to happen properly. It should work properly. So everything can be properly aligned, provided we know them from childhood, from
Mm.
small ages.
And would you say violence is actually an indication that there's something deeper going on within them that they're not being able to handle?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is a story behind it.
Mm.
Nobody is violent by nature. See,
Mm.
you connect to you. Why do we love children? Their innocence, their non-violent approach. They are nobody is by birth violent.
Mm.
But what happens is, through life, the pains they collect sometimes becomes revenge,
Mm.
sometimes becomes self-destruction.
Mm.
They would like to hurt themselves because of what they have collected. But what they have collected is also triggered by what they have stored.
Mm.
So we connect to things based on what we are. We
Mm.
express to the world what we are. So we are what we are, and we can't change it. We are like that. But so we can. There is always a history. There is always a story.
Yeah. And say if somebody is suffering a lot and doesn't know how to sort of express it in a healthy way, how can a spiritual practice lead them down a path of expressing in a non-violent and peaceful way, but release their pain and suffering?
Suffering is a choice. There is the pains of life you cannot change sometimes.
Mm.
Situations of life you cannot change.
Mm.
Pains out of the situation may not be possible to be changed. But suffering is connected to our resistance to it. So when we resist something, we are suffering. When we
Mm.
accept it, okay. See, we can see that in our domestic cats and dogs.
Okay.
They get injured, they cry when there is a pain, but then immediately they start licking the wound and they continue with their life.
Mm.
They don't hang on that situation for long, but
Mm.
we do. We all our emotional issues or our physical pain, we tend to complain, and we tend to fight it, resist it, and then enhance it. So all the sufferings are connected to resistance. So if we can take people off the resistance, then and go into the mode of acceptance, everything that comes will come and go. Nothing stays.
Mm.
So if you resist it, if you fight it, then it will stay longer. So if you can give a helping hand and tell them, don't worry, this will be okay.
Mm.
It will change eventually. And there is some reason why it came. We don't know the reason. We don't have to know the reason.
Mm.
But we can get out of it, provided we are walking. And we have in the history, we can see many examples. There are great athletes who have fought and they injured, but they fought and they won even Olympics.
Yeah.
So many people, this is the tenacity and determination. Only through acceptance of reality you can move forward. But we tend to resist because we are taught not to fail. What's the problem in failing? Failing means we have an expectation that did not get fulfilled, so
Mm.
we call that a failure.
Mm.
But that's not failure. That's a situation which comes to your life. Nothing is a failure. Everything is a lesson. One way or the other, we are learning, we are growing, we are evolving, and we are being stable more and more with more experiences.
Mm.
When we run away from it, when we resist it, we learn nothing, and
Mm.
then we attract similar experiences again in the future. So it's important to leave, let go, drop it, and move on.
Mm. What practices in modern life would you say are destabilizing us as human beings?
Chasing something, not knowing who we are, that's destabilizing us. See, most of the people who are learning things from colleges, universities, schools, they're learning for the sake of job.
Mm.
That is destabilizing us. We should learn because we love to learn that thing.
Mm.
We should do something which we love to do, which is effortless for us. Then the whole life is like a picnic. If you look at most of the people, most of the students, I speak to many people, many of them do not know what they want. They ask somebody else and they suggested, oh, learn this, you get good money. And
Mm.
money cannot guarantee happiness. I
Mm.
know many, many very, very rich people. There are many rich people following me. But I know some of them are having tremendous pains and worries, anxieties. They can't sleep well, all those things. But so I guide many of them to a stable existence, and they're deeply grateful for that.
Mm.
But one thing is sure, money cannot guarantee anything. Money
Mm.
cannot guarantee love, cannot guarantee happiness, or anything except probably bigger house. But if there's no sleep, what is the use of a bigger house?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So,
so
yeah.
so coming back to the thing, the students and the youth today, what they need is to spend some time with themselves and understand themselves. What
Mm.
exactly will make me happy? Do I see myself in that position, like a doctor or an engineer or a pilot or an astronaut, whatever they are learning for?
Mm.
Do I see myself in that and will I be happy?
Mm.
And sometimes you have to do trial and error, because it's not like we in life there is no rehearsal, no reversal. So
Mm.
we have to probably try, and oh, it's not working, no problem.
Yeah.
Everything won't work in life. Then choose the next one. So everything in life, we have to understand that it should all end up, or all should work towards an effortless existence.
Mm.
That is contentment, that is peace. And if
Mm.
that's not happening, then nothing is happening. Then what we are trying to do is to find an existence, and all our life we are dragging the feet. And
Mm.
the usual system which the society approves: a child is born, educated, then job, then marriage,
Marriage.
house,
Children.
children's education, their job, their marriage, and our retirement, and then taking care of children's children. This is what we call as success. I call this as a sheep's life. you know this is no success. This is kind of a comfort zone which we create, which is approved by the society.
Mm.
And that's silly for me, because then where are you in the whole show? Your whole life is like a donkey. Somebody is leading you. So
Yeah.
I believe that you should live your life. And if all these things are part of it, good enough. If not, no problem.
Mm.
But end of the day, am I contented? That is the bottom line. If that's not happening, then what is life?
Mm. So, speaking about contentment, we've discussed what takes us away. And now I want to ask you what can bring us towards contentment, if you could make it as simple as possible for someone who's just starting out their spiritual journey.
Simple one word I can say: self-acceptance.
Okay?
If you really really accept yourself, you'll be contented. If you're comparing yourself with other people, competing with other people, you will never be contented.
Mm.
So self-acceptance means accepting your reality, your individuality, your originality
Mm.
as it is, without any modification, without adding pepper or salt, as raw as it takes.
Mm.
That's contentment. See, if I don't accept myself, I can't accept other people. I accept myself with all my weaknesses and all my strengths. I have weaknesses like everybody else have.
Mm.
I have strengths like everybody have. So I'm not worried about I have weaknesses and somebody else do not have that weaknesses. It's none of my business. So just one word, self-acceptance,
Mm.
more and more what the society trains the people is to be self-conscious. That's dangerous because
Mm.
that gives complexes.
And more than conscious, they're always trying to mold you into being different in order to be successful, like you mentioned. That
Yeah,
become this way, then you're successful. Become that way, then you're successful.
yeah. No, but we are successful by birth
Yeah.
because we are unique by birth. And our uniqueness is our best contribution to the society.
Mm.
Our uniqueness. That's the best contribution to our society because what is the society looking at? A person who's a real person or an individual or an
Mm.
original person. And that's exactly what we are. We don't have to add anything for that.
Mm.
But why we are not understanding that is because we always, all the time, we are trying to become somebody else, become something else. Like becoming is the problem. You are being already.
Yeah.
That is the truth.
Mm. So, would you say that man's purpose on earth is to accept themselves and just be content the way they are?
Yeah, self-acceptance leads to self-awareness.
Mm.
That's normal because the moment you start accepting yourself, you start becoming very normal. And self-awareness will lead to actualization of who you are. That is a very big strength already.
Mm.
You are all that you are. So then you can see that in life. Uh, you will be effortless in life. You will be flowing. You will be flexible in life. That's all sign of full acceptance of yourself.
Mm.
Flexibility is a clear sign of spiritual stability.
Mm. Okay. And are there any stories or incidents you'd like to share with us?
Stories of
Any of your experiences that have taught you something?
many experiences. There are so
Whichever,
many.
whichever you like to share.
Um, about the need for self-acceptance.
Anything related to spirituality.
Spirituality. Okay. Yeah. The connection with the nature. See, I always tell people that if you are deeply see, like I believe that we are not made to be in coffins. You
Okay.
know, coffins means not the dead body coffins. It's like square and rectangular rooms. And I believe that our individuality is crammed so much because we live in rectangular and square rooms. So I like people to connect to the real nature, which has high and low and the dips and the heights and everything.
Mm.
So when I interact with beings of other species,
Mm.
their freedom is pretty much freedom, or their state is very much connected more to the terrains of the land. See, that's
Mm.
how creations have happened. The whole creation has happened like that. Like the
Mm.
polar bears need ice or
Mm.
the cold climate to exist, while some of the other species, they fly to the warm climate during winter, the migratory birds, etc. So
Mm.
the whole, if you look at the whole nature, so you can see those kind of uh, uh,
Transitions.
yeah, create the effects of creation, different creation.
Mm.
So we have a small deer. We have about 8, 9 deers in here
Okay.
in our ashram in Slovenia. I'm talking from Slovenia now.
Okay.
So there is one deer which was an orphan. Its mother died.
Mm.
So we are taking care of that deer.
Mm.
And I went to Switzerland just like last week, and I had only met him just a few hours one day because I landed from Austria to here. Then I flew to Switzerland. So I was here one day and I met him. And after I left, in one day, a few hours, it got so connected to me, it stopped eating. It was sad. The
Mm.
small deer was
Mm.
very sad. And now, when I came back, he had a bit of a complaint. He said, "Why did you come now?" And it was funny to see how the small beings, how they interact.
Mm.
By See, we think that the nature doesn't speak to you. Nature speaks to you much more than people speak to you.
Mm.
So I was seeing that this boy was complaining that how come you came now? You don't care about me, kind of attitude. Not those words exactly,
Yeah.
but what I meant to say is that we must connect with the nature much more. They are all individuals. Every being is an individual. And if you start looking into the eyes and seeing the truth, the individuality, then you will know how much life is worth it.
Mm.
And you can actually increase your self-worth by being available and being loving towards all beings of the world,
Mm.
the nature, the birds, the animals, everything. Like we have animals in our Australian ashram.
Mm.
There is a cow and a calf. When the cow and the cow last year, they came last year, 23. When they came, the mother was about a year or 3 year and a half old,
Mm.
and the daughter was few months old.
Mm.
But the mother was trying her best to save her daughter because
Mm.
wherever she was before, she has seen all her relatives getting slaughtered and children taken away. So she was expecting we will also do the same.
Mm.
Then we didn't even touch the child and the mother. We allowed them to be free. Now they're very, very friendly. They're very
Mm.
happy. It's more than a year now. So how we disconnected from the nature, how we disconnect from animals, and that's the major cause of our suffering because they contribute energetically to our well-being.
Mm.
So these are small incidents, but they have lasting impressions. Those who have seen that, those who are with me, they all were changed by seeing such. They are very relevant to our life,
Mm.
and I always feel that we should spend more time and we should understand other species, and that helps us to understand ourselves.
Mm.
And always remember, it's like electricity. Going through a light bulb gives you light. Going through the air conditioner cools the room. If it goes through a washing machine, washes your clothes, same electricity. Like that, an energy which goes through a human body behaves like a human being. If it goes through an animal body, it behaves like an animal. If it goes through a bird's body, behaves like a bird.
Mm.
So it's the same energy connecting all of us. It's all one.
Mm.
So once we start realizing this, then we feel deeply connected to every species.
Mm.
And that stabilizes us and that makes us more and more relevant in the world. And that gives us stability. So this is very, very important to understand, especially as the youth, as the young people. They should know that we we belong to the world,
Mm.
that we can't own anything on earth. We come empty-handed, we go empty-handed.
Mm.
So whatever we have to leave behind. So having the mad chase for something, some glory, something, and then we die, and then we have no contentment or happiness, filled with regret or guilt. That's not good life.
Mm.
That's not good life. Nothing to chase, nothing to compete. Just live your life peacefully. Love everybody. Loving is very important. Being
Mm.
kind, being compassionate, and anger, hatred, jealousy, greed, revenge, they will never leave a good taste in the mouth. They
Mm.
always feel you, they always leave that feeling of insufficiency
Mm.
or regret or,
Bitterness.
yeah, bitterness. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Mohanji. That brings
Thank you.
us to the end of our episode. It's been a pleasure
Thank you.
having you here. Thank you
Thank you
for
so much.
thank you for listening to the Peppy podcast. Stay tuned for our next episode and we will see you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, Rashmina. Thank you. It was nice.
Thank
You
you.
happy?
Yeah.
See you again then.
See you again.
Yeah, lots of love.